Welcome to Here to Initiate, a podcast for manifestors, leaning on the concept of human design. We manifestors are 9% of the population, here to initiate, and it is time for us to rise. In this podcast, I, your host, Julia, want to bring a missing link to the marketplace. Having been a mentor and coach since 2018 and learning more and more about being a manifestor myself, I now, with this podcast, want to specifically support manifestors. With my brand Luxury Goddess, which is all about female remembrance, embodiment, and empowerment, I have served thousands of women already, and I now want to specifically support manifestors as well. I invite you to fully step into your peaceful, powerful self as a manifestor. Let's become who we came here to be, shall we? Hello, beautiful humans. Hello, beautiful manifestors specifically. Today, I want to talk about a very important topic for us, which is socializing. Because as any human, we love to connect and, to be with people that we love, that we respect, that we honor. And not, respect. I respect everyone, but meaning, respect in a way of, people who are interesting to us, who we want to spend time with. And then, of course, those who are very and especially near and dear to us. But then on the other hand, especially as manifestors and more so all non-energy types and two-line, and then there's two lines, and then there's, of course, many other specifics as well. But especially non-energy types, manifestors specifically, and then, two lines, a few more like typical things we can see in the human design chart that show us some of us really need a lot of time for ourselves. Some of us really are not made to be in a social setting all the time, or are very peculiar, or special in a way where we need to know what is important to us to enjoy to be in a social setting. So, of course, as this is a podcast for manifestors, let's look at what is important to us. So first of all, I want to start with saying that, of course, it depends too on who you are, how you live, right? I mean, it's different if you travel always. It's different if you, like me, have a son and a husband and a cat and live in the jungle. It's different if you're living in a shared apartment with other ladies. It's different if you have a newborn kid. So of course, it depends on your needs and your desires at the moment and the phase of your life that you're in, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing to look at too is our profile. And so any one of us who has a 1, 2, or 3 in the beginning of the profile tends to want to have more time for themselves, tends to not need to be with people all the time, or doesn't have that desire to be with people all the time. Everyone who has a 4, 5, or 6 in the beginning of the profile tends to want to be with people, because the 4 in the front, the 5 and the 6 in the front kind of needs people around them to play out their profile. It doesn't have to be all the time around people, right? But especially those with a 4 line in the front or the back, especially if you don't have a 2 line as well, you want to be around people a lot, right? And so we want to look at that as well, because you could be a manifestor, but you could have a 4-6 or a 4-1 or a 1-4, and then you would probably want to be with people more than other manifestors if you're, nourished and your needs are met. So we want to look at those parts as well and just really get to know ourselves specifically, and not get ever stuck in any kind of rule for every manifestor, because of course we're individuals, right? But that being said, we have a certain way we manifestors to be in a social setting, and that is that we are, as always, on our own timeline, and we can get bored quickly, or we could lose interest quickly. We could feel like we want to leave now, or we're done now with the setting that we're in, or it takes us too long, or there's something specific that we need that the social setting isn't providing. And so in that moment, of course, we need to inform as well. We need to inform, we need to say, like, and we can always communicate politely and respectfully. We can always say, like, thank you so much for inviting me. I am enjoying this party so much. I am so grateful for, the food you put out and everything that you have organized. And then also I'm noticing how I am very tired, or I am done kind of with like socializing or communicating with everyone. I feel like I would like to go home right now, and it would just be the most honest thing to tell you that right now, and to let you know that I love you and that I enjoyed my time, but that I also am done, and I love you, and I'm looking forward to connect with you next time. Or to even let your friends or whoever, right, it is that we're talking about, know in advance, like, thank you for the invitation. I so want to come, but also I know I can be with people for 2-3 hours, but I can't be with you for the 6 hours of the party. So would you like me to come in the beginning, or would you rather like me to come towards the end? Or is there a special thing that you're doing for the party that you'd like me to be there for that time? Or is there a room that I can go into, to just have some retreat time for me during the party, to have a break and then come back, so there's always these possibilities. But we have to understand that we get overwhelmed at a certain moment as a manifestor, because we're not made to be with people all the time. We're not made to receive their energies all the time. We're made to be with us, to be in our space, to have our urges and ideas come through, to rest, and then come strong into a space, or into a social setting if we wish to, if it feels in alignment, if it feels peaceful, and if we're feeling, depending on our authority, clear. So for me, I personally am a 3-5, and I love to be in community, but I always say I prefer retreats as to, a setting of like 10, 20, 30 people. And I don't really enjoy a festival, for example, because there's so many people, so many energies. It's just too much for me. It's not that I can't have the boundary. I can. It's just that I don't really enjoy it. It's not my favorite thing. And so I love a retreat kind of space, 10, 20, 30 people, especially if it's my space, because then the energy is matching my frequency. And so it's like very clean for me. Everything that's clean energy, I can enjoy so much more. Everything that I can lead, I can enjoy so much more. I noticed this last month when a beautiful friend of mine, she's also my team, visited me and lived with us for 3 weeks. And we went to the city here in Costa Rica, the capital. And usually I'm a bit exhausted quickly then when we drive, to the city for hours, and then drive around the city for whatever, go to the hotel, go there, go this, do this. And then I feel drained quickly. But then this time I even got my period, my menstruation, but on the way back, everything flowed so beautifully, and I really got to decide or lead a lot of that. And it so happened that we could do many, many things of the things that I suggested or wanted to do, like drive or stop or just go to the store and grab this, or even go to the store and do that. And so it felt very easy. I always felt in flow and in alignment. I was never really like stopped or had a moment of that, which stops my flow as a manifestor, which is when I have to wait, and then my energy kind of drains. It kind of scatters, and then I'm not in flow anymore. I'm losing energy, and I'm less present. I have less energy available after that. So if there's a moment of someone else decides something, but I don't want to do it, I have to be patient, even though I don't want to or have a different need. Someone really wants something that I don't want to do, and we have to go another way, or we have to stop, and it just really takes very long, For example, the person, has to go to the bathroom, wants to get food, and it just takes very long because there's many people. Then I just lose a lot of energy. So oftentimes I can't, or sometimes I can't always control that, of course, right? If I'm with my family and they just really want or need something, and it just takes a moment, it just is what it is. But then, if everything flows, I have so much energy, and I'm even surprised then how much energy I have, but because, I feel excitement for everything. I feel like almost like an urge for the things that we're doing or I'm doing. I have a lot of energy because it's urge-like, right? It's like it's aligned with my urges, with what is aligned anyway in the moment for me to create or just to be about. And so that feels really, really good. So it's important for us to understand this and to communicate quickly. To even say, like, I'm noticing in my body anger right now because you had to wait so long in line to pay for your hot dog. I respect and honor that you're hungry and that you got it. Like, enjoy it so much. I just want to let you know that I have this anger insight right now, because if you notice in a moment anyway, especially if you have a defined emotional authority, center, and of course you didn't also have an emotional authority, but overall, if you have a defined emotional center, you just come in with your emotions quite strong. People can feel you anyway. And then if they're undefined emotional, then, they have the challenge of having the boundary there and understanding it's your emotion, not theirs. So it's always great then also, as always, to communicate and inform and let people know, right? Like, I understand it's my responsibility to feel this, it's not your fault. There's nothing wrong. I just want you to know this so that you're aware and you're not wondering and you're not feeling bad, or, just you don't even have an opportunity to feel unsafe with me because you're trying to feel into our space what's wrong or why am I this way. And I'm just letting you know, like, I do get impatient quickly. I do just, if I have to wait or something doesn't go at all as my flow would want it, right, as I am flowing in the moment, then, I just let you know so that you can feel safe with the truth, with whatever is alive in me. And it doesn't mean anything. It's none of your responsibility. There's nothing for you to do. And so I love this kind of communication to let people know. Same with, if you have a partner or a friend that just has a lot more energy because they have a 4-line, or they're just a manifesting generator, and they don't happen to have a 2-line, or they don't happen to have another element in their chart that leads them to also needing a lot of space and a lot of time. Because I do know many manifesting generators or generators that literally just can go all day, and if they don't know that you're not this way, they kind of like expect that from you, but not because it's an expectation. It's rather they think everyone is like that, right? And so they would assume that you'd spend the whole day with them and want to do this and that. You just have to let them know, like, I'm a manifestor, or you don't even have to say that. You can say, as the human that I am, I do need a lot of rest. I do need more rest. I need more sleep than you, and I personally love, having space for myself in the morning or at night, or I love to do one activity with you the day, or I love to have one conscious present meal with each other, but then the other meal that I have, I do like to be on the phone, or I do like to watch something, or I do like to be in silence, so you can just let people know. The more you find out about yourself, how you want to eat, how and when you want to work, how and when you want to be active with them, how and when you want to spend time with them. All those things, just really let them know this is how I work. This is what works for me well. This is how I love to be social with you. This is actually how I love socializing. But then, this is also how I don't. And just really have the awareness of, it's good to feel into it, have the clarity for you, and then let people know, inform them so that you love being with them. And then they also are aware, they're very clearly informed, and they know, and then they can just work with that, right? And if they take that seriously, always let them know it has nothing to do with you. I'd literally do this with anyone to be happy. Like, this is how I am happy in this world. If it doesn't work for you, like, I see you, I'm sorry for you, but I can't change it, right? Because it's always me first. It's self-love first. This is how this whole thing works. If we don't want to be entangled in a trauma bond or codependency, if we want to make sure we're in responsibility for our happiness and our needs. And so that's just what we got to do. Yeah. So these are the pieces I just wanted to bring to you. And I really personally do not feel bad ever, because I have the clarity now. I know this is how I work. This is where it works well for me. And especially as a manifestor woman, when I have my menstruation, where I am like 1 to 3 days before it, I'm so freaking intuitive, so freaking sensitive. When I meet someone, and just this week, I was like 2 or 3 days before my menstruation, I met up with a beautiful woman that lives here on the mountain. That's just a beautiful person and coach, and she's from Germany as well. And so yeah, it's really sweet to connect with her. And yeah, I had a lovely time, but also I could feel, because I was right 2-3 days before my menstruation, I even thought I was going to get it the same day, my bleeding, my moon, right? Well, anyway, menstruation, happy bleeding, moon, all the things. So anyway, and I could just really feel the moment, the way I connected with her. It was just a lot for my being to even be with a human being right now, to connect, to talk, to look someone in the eye. Like it was very, very intimate, just because it was a few days before I started to bleed. So just even to be aware of all of that, like the first step to love socializing is to be aware of it. As anything, it's not about like, I don't like sex or I don't like socializing. It's always about, you don't like sex the way you know it. You don't like socializing the way you know it, because you think it's in a certain way that doesn't suit you. No, we say goodbye to that. You find out how you want it. And that is our responsibility. You really dig deep on how you like it, how you want it, and that this refers to everything. And then, of course, you can love that, but you can also you can only love it if it's good for you. Of course, if it suits you, if you enjoy it, if you're looking forward. And you're not going to do that when it's against what you want, when you think it has to be a certain way because everybody does it that way. We're in a time where we're really looking individually at how do I have a lot of energy? How do I love connecting? When do I, when not? In the day, in the month, right? Especially with your cycle as a woman, you want to look at that as well. And just be super vocal about that. Just be very, very clear and communicate, because that's, of course, our strategy. So with that, we can always win. With that, we will feel peace. But if we don't say it, but then kind of still feel it, because it won't go away how you feel. Even when you don't say it, you'll still feel the same, but you'll have on top the anger. You'll have the anger in your belly, like, oh, like I'm being impatient, but I didn't let anyone know because I didn't want to be a burden, but I feel it and now I'm angry and everyone can feel it anyway. That's not helping anyone, right? So that's super, super important to understand and remember that it is important for us. And if you're still feeling like if you still need to be brave or you still need courage to speak up, it's fine, but practice, because then you can, and then you're getting used to it, and then it's normal. But this is the way. We gotta say everything we need so that we love socializing, that we love it, because this is the way to be happy as a manifestor amongst people. And to also understand that if you do not like to meet people and you only have like your one friend or just your partner or, the 1, 2, 3 people around you as a manifestor, that's super normal. We're not the kind of people to have like 10 friends or 20 friends or so many connections each day that you're meeting up with or whatever. That's not the way we go, except if you're a 4-line or, have any other element in your chart that might lead to you loving or to be around people. But generally we do need to retreat, and this is just who we are. It's very normal. And if you accept that it's good for you, that it's right for you, and not question it and think you're wrong for it, you're gonna love your life. You're just gonna understand, I'm not the kind of person to just go out every day. That's not right. The only difference for me too is that, I love being with my husband and with my son, of course, but I love being with my community. I love being online. I love holding retreats. I could do that all day, every day for sure, because like I said in the beginning, the energy is super clear and clean. I lead the space, very clear energy from my part. It matches people's energy that is super clear as well. And so everything is crystal clear. Communication, energy hygiene, I call it. And so then I don't lose energy at all, because there's no expectations, there's just clarity around everything, and then I love it too. But if I go to any other social setting, another party or a concert, the energy isn't as clear there, because the communication isn't as clear, or there's other needs or rules or how the event goes or how long, and it doesn't align with what works for me. And so I know that, and then I adapt it to what works for me because else I wouldn't go. And that's just that. And I accept that so much and love myself, right? Like I really understand and accept that this is how I am, this is how it's good for me, that it's just a fact and it works beautifully. So go and explore that for you. All the different layers of what I spoke about today. Have the talks that you need to have with people so that they know even better how it works for you. Because in the end, as a manifestor, it's our job to communicate very clearly what we need to say, lovingly, respectfully, so to be peace, to be in peace, to have peace, and to be then able to rest and have our urges. It's just, necessary to live our design fully and be happy in this world. So do that, go about that. I hope this served you, and I will catch you next time. And if this podcast serves you, or this episode served you, let me know that you are out there, and I know I'm doing this for you, and it's good for you and it serves you. And if you have any wish for me to speak on for manifestors, let me know as well, so I can get you that episode. All right, lots of love your way. Bye-bye. This was today's episode for you as a manifestor in the concept of human design. I hope this episode and whole podcast serves you. And if it does, I invite you to leave a 5-star review on iTunes, or rank the podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you listened, and or subscribe, comment, or share, whatever feels right to you, so we can spread this for all manifestors to hear and rise as one. Thank you from one manifestor to another. I deeply appreciate you rising, and I look forward to catch you next time. Always remember, you are here to feel peaceful. You are here to initiate. Remember to always inform peacefully. You are so powerful. I see you. You've got this. From one manifestor to another, yours, Julia.